exactly what I was going for. Like, Digi was one of my biggest inspirations. Like, all the stuff I have on that wall over there is actually like magazine clippings, basically. So
Yeah, that's sick.
because I didn't actually know how to get like anime merchandise when I first started doing this, so I just took whatever I could find and just to have stuff on my wall. So, but yeah,
Yeah, and it's
and
like
it was inspired by Digi and I guess other Annie-tubers at the time where they just had stuff behind them, and I'm like, I want a room with stuff in it. I'm gonna make my room full of my interests one day.
that's good. It looks
But
good.
thank you, I appreciate it. I'm still working on some stuff because of all the new tech, but yeah, that's going to be my goal next week probably. But anyway, we are here. Sha and I are here to talk about something far more important. The most important thing of all time, maybe. At least, you know what? Actually, this is only the most important thing for like the two of us and the people in our areas. Everyone else
Yes.
hates us, and no one else
Yeah.
cares about this. But
Yeah, everyone else is rooting for the meteor, and we're like, yo, we're gonna have a fun Sunday. It's like the meme of the guy that's like really angry, and it's a little kid like, my two sports teams are playing, and the meme guy is like, I hate you and want you to die, and we're just
yeah,
like, here we go.
but yeah,
So
we are. So, for context, I live in KC. Shaw is in Jersey, but Philadelphia adjacent. So
yeah,
Chiefs
I
and
went to
Eagles are
school
our
in
teams.
Philly before anyone's like, you're not real. I went to school in Philly.
Yeah.
Come at, don't get me. But yeah, exactly.
So the Eagles and the Chiefs are our teams, and of course they are in the Super Bowl again. Great that we have a rematch. We didn't get to really do anything the last time this happened.
We didn't get to do it last time because we were here 2 years ago ready to do this, and then I got COVID right before the game,
Oh, that's
and
what
I'm like,
happened.
Moz, I'm dying, I'm dying, I can't do it. And then I would, so everyone normally goes to like my husband's uncle's place. He has like his garage built out, kind of like a man cave, like the TV,
Mm.
the like a little like bar and everything. Like it's sick. But everyone goes there for football games. So I was home alone with my dog while everyone was at a Super Bowl game and party. And so I'm just alone, miserable with COVID. And last time I'm like, oh, well, like I'm dying, but at least like it looks like we're doing good in the first half. And it looks like Mahomes got injured. So I'm like, well, I'm dying, but like, it's looking good. And then the second half happens. And I think that was like a bottom five moment of my life of just like COVID alone. And then Mahomes is doing like devil magic God shit coming back. And my defense wasn't doing anything. I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is the end for me. I don't need to keep going on. Let's call it quits for life.
I do apologize for this a little bit, and I apologize for whatever happens tomorrow. And I don't even
Don't.
mean I really don't even mean that to be like, gosh, your team was so scary. Better luck next year. Oh boy, like if we were to, like that kind of guy. But like literally at this point in time, this could not be any more meaningless to me in my life. Like, I no longer have a need for Chiefs football in my life. We had our run. I would say last year was really the peak where we had back-to-back and the Taylor Swift stuff. And, like, that's still happening, but, like, no one cares anymore. The novelty's worn off. No one cares that Taylor's at the game
Yeah.
anymore unless you really like Taylor. And the three,
Yeah.
like, no one cares about us three-peating. Everyone hates us. No one wants to see this happen except for us, I guess. But the real,
Yeah.
the real joke of this is that the main, like, I don't make any secrets that I'm not really a football guy. Like, I can keep up with it. I play fantasy with friends and all that. But mainly it's just been a thing I've been casually involved with just because it's so relevant in my area that I just do it to keep the conversation, essentially. It's not really something I would do on my own. Like, I even tried watching it on my own this season. Mahomes won his first Super Bowl. I went into that season thinking I'm gonna watch every Chiefs game every week, and I got like 4 weeks, and I'm like, I don't care, dude. Like, whatever. It's fine.
And you're like, I want this for baseball, actually.
Exactly. Baseball's always been my thing, and for as long as you have known me, Shaw, the Royals have been a
Yes.
fuck awful baseball team. So there's just nothing
Yeah.
going on there that I can brag about. I can never talk about it with other people. But finally, in 2024, it just magically the team just clicked, everything just magically came
It was
together,
good.
and the Royals made the playoffs, and I can be happy. So there's no longer a need for me to attach my hometown pride to the Chiefs anymore. I now have the Royals to do that for me properly. So this means nothing to me anymore. I don't need the Chiefs anymore.
That's a good headline from a Chiefs fan. We don't need the Chiefs anymore.
We are
something
done with
else.
the Chiefs. I mean, not that I'll take what I can get, because for as much as I would apologize for any teams that we have stomped on the way, I also want to just express that this has never happened in my lifetime. Like, and what I mean by that is KC has never really had like a global icon that everyone recognizes until Patrick Mahomes showed up, and now everyone knows who that is, and that's awesome. So that's the one thing I really embrace about all of this, just being so relevant in this time. But now I'm like, okay, now that everyone hates us, we can kind of move away from this. We can let someone else have,
It's kind of interesting because also, like, in our lifetimes, like, we're so used to seeing the Patriots being that, like, you know, devil, like, empire, like the dark empire kind of like running everything. And that kind of applied to like all of Boston sports. And Boston is such a like big entity that has so much like historic sports stuff that everyone was just kind of like, okay, we're just done with Boston as a city. Like, we're done with them as an entity. Like, we're done with them. And like Brady and Bill Belichick, they always felt so like undefeated. Like, they just felt like evil, but like still competent. So everyone was just like, oh, they're scary, whatever. But like Kansas City, as you said, it's like kind of, it's all like, they'll still think it's cool that like Kansas City is like a smaller city compared to like Boston. So it's cool that we do have like an icon for American sports being like from the Midwest and from a team that wasn't like as high profile. I think like, and, you know, Mahomes and Andy Reid are both, like, really good, so it's not like, you know, there's no real fraud going on here. They're just really good, and they happen to keep beating everyone. But I think it's just everyone is so exhausted that they're like, we want something else. But also, I guess I'm a bit biased because I have my NFC over here. I'm not as, like, invested in the AFC until it comes to this time of year. Mm-hmm. But I feel like a lot of people should just be frustrated that, like, your team isn't beating the Chiefs. Like, like just beat them. Easier said than done, but like, like just beat them if you want to get there. But there's been like a lot of yapping about the Chiefs. I don't know how much you follow it because like about all of the like ref stuff, and then everyone just being like crying about that. And there's like some calls that I think we have discussions about. It's like I think there are some calls that are egregious. But then there are others, but the ultimate thing is it's like, if it comes down to one call, you weren't going to win the game anyway. That's how I've seen the past, like, 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, totally. And, yeah, I keep up with, you know, the discussions and all. I do listen to some...
The discourse.
Yeah. And, like, I get it, but my retort on the whole ref ball thing is, don't we just... Like, haven't we all agreed that the refs just suck in general? Like haven't we established for a very long time that refereeing in this sport is extremely inconsistent? Yeah. So, I don't know. Like, do the Chiefs play into that? Maybe. Possibly. Sure. Yeah. But, I mean, any other team could do that. Josh Allen. Yeah, exactly.
I've seen that. I've seen the flopping compilations. I've seen those. And I think the thing is, like, I didn't like this at press. This is kind of a diversion, but not really. Like, when they were doing all, like, the press day stuff, there were some dudes who were, like, asking Mahomes and Travis Kelce about, like, the calls and, like, making jokes like, who's your favorite ref? And I think that's so, like, slimy and unprofessional because, like, if I have an issue with the refs making, you know, like, whatever for the Chiefs, that's not the Chiefs' fault. That's the NFL and the refs' fault, and they're just choosing the Chiefs. Like, if you have beef with the Chiefs, hold it against them, but, like, if you have issues with the ref, that shouldn't be because of your feelings towards the Chiefs personally. Like, the refs are choosing to do that. And like you said, like, any player would go along with that. So it's kind of like you got to separate the two. Like, if people genuinely have beef with the refs, that's something like that applies to everyone, not just when your team plays and loses against the Chiefs.
Yeah, absolutely. So
yeah.
So same.
But you're lucky. Your team isn't also hated. My team is hated too. So we're in the same boat.
So I'm not as familiar with the Eagles, obviously. Do people just hate you for the tush push? Is that like the big thing everyone hates you for?
So without coming across as whining, there's always been an anti-Philadelphia bias in the media. Like when it comes to a lot of like mainstream media guys, like we've kind of like always had people who are just not really like, they don't like Philly for, we'll give it semi-good reason, like the fans, we are obnoxious. We're not as violent as everyone makes it out to be, but like I've gone to a few NFC championship games, and like if you're in the opposing team's clothes, you're just gonna get booed at by everyone. Like children, old people, everyone in between. They're gonna boo you, but like no one's like really getting into like fights with every person they see. But like Eagles fans are just so like they fly everywhere, they go to everyone's games, like they have nothing else, we have nothing else going on. It's always cold, so we're always grumpy, so we're just always there and just being annoying and like yelling stuff at people. So like people don't, especially people who were in the league before and then they become commentators, they don't like Eagles unless they have something like with the city, or they're just, you know, built different to like getting heckled at, I guess. But so there's kind of like, they're not going to give like they're not going to give Eagles players credit unless they're forced to by their hand. Like everything leading up to, it's like leading up to the Super Bowl, it's like, what can Jalen Hurts do to do better? And it's like, I don't know, dude, we're winning. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know what Jalen Hurts is supposed to do. He hasn't turned the ball over in like 13 games, and like we keep winning. And they're like, well, he should throw it more. It's like, okay, everyone who keeps throwing the ball and not running it loses. So I don't know what you guys are doing, but I think people don't like the tush push specifically because other teams can't do it. But like Jalen Hurts said at one point, he's like, I call it a quarterback sneak. I don't know what you guys call it, but that's my thing. So I don't know. I think people are just salty they can't do it, and like, sorry, like kind of a skill with you. Like get a better offensive line and have your quarterback like squat 600 pounds. I don't know. That's what ours does. So that's how they just like go forward.
Or they
can't. People have never stopped it.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll say though, the last time we faced off, Jalen Hurts was very scary. And if you guys won that game, that would have been legendary. That would have been a really legendary performance by him.
Yeah, that was crazy. Our defense was so ass in that game. It was so bad. Like they just didn't do anything in the entire second half. And then like whatever they injected into Mahomes' leg that made his like him not feel bad, he just went like demon mode overtime. It was crazy.
Something
that was a crazy
illegal
comeback.
in several countries, most likely.
yeah. He went crazy, and that was off. That was cool. No, it's like I do hate the Chiefs just because you guys are so good and keep showing up. But I also just kind of hate that the other teams somehow just are not as good when they play you. Like I watch them be good all year, and then they go to you guys, and then they're not as good. And it's like, do what you were doing all year against the Chiefs, and just do that. So I mean, if the Bills want to be in the Super Bowl, they should just beat the Chiefs. Do it. Yeah. Easier said than done, but just do it.
I mean, it really has been about making the fewest mistakes with most of the Chiefs games, even in the regular season. It's just, which again, and I can understand how people bring up how maybe like Kelsey taunting other players and provoking them to draw penalties and stuff like that, and like I can't confirm that too much, or because again I'm a casual fan, so I can just hand wave all of this. But no, it really is just a matter of like making the fewest mistakes, because which I think is another reason why people are so frustrated with the Chiefs this year. They haven't been the fireworks display that they were in past years. Like literally when we beat the Bills, that was the first time all year we scored more than 30 in a single game this season. So I get it. They're not playing as fun football as we've seen from the past, but again, just the sport that everyone's playing right now.
Yeah, and that's because also your team has a good defense too. Like a lot of the good defensive games, they're not as flashy because it's a lot of like shutting people down. Like that's happened to us for a couple other games where we're not like having big scoring games, but it's because it's like defensive masterclass going on. But people get kind of like monkey brained about that. They're like, why didn't your quarterback throw for like 300 yards? It's like, I'm sorry, we were busy winning. Sorry. You want the team that's threw for 300 yards? They're not here. They're in Cancun because they also had like 5 turnovers. So, sorry. You're too busy winning.
Yeah. The one thing that will stop us is if Steve Spagnuolo gets hired as like the U.S. Department of Defense or Secretary of Defense. That's the job he's qualified for, I think. Probably more qualified than whoever is actually doing that right now.
Probably. He's getting scouted for the Super Bowl. It's like, that's our guy. He will take over. Yeah, he's really good. Apparently, like, half my team is sick. I hope they get over that.
Yeah, I heard about that, which it's more Chiefs devil magic, I guess. Like, all their players are coming back at the right time, and then everyone else is dying at the right time. So.
They got, like, the flu or whatever, and it's like, okay, time to get, like, 10 IVs. We're flushing this out of you immediately.
Like, how in the world do you get sick? Like, the day before the Super Bowl or something. Come on, guys.
Yeah, it's like, heal up. But, come on, our team. At least be healthy. No puking on the sidelines.
Right. Well, do it on the side. You know what? Puking at other players, is there a penalty against that? Can you just puke on another guy?
It'd be funny if, like, both teams did it, but then they only call a flag on, like, one. It'd be, like, excessive force or unsportsmanlike conduct puking on the other team. Yeah. That would be so funny.
Unnecessary grossness.
Unnecessary grossness, for real. That would be good. Yeah. So, are you feeling, like, very confident about your team? I feel confident about your team because, like, I just can't imagine betting against Kansas City at some point. Like, it's like people can pull out the stats of, like, here's how they do good on this, like, how they match up. I'm like, yeah, but they just haven't really lost yet that much, so I don't know how they're going to do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I really do think it could go either way. Obviously, you know, don't bet against the Chiefs, but we also remember the last time a team went into the Super Bowl with everything going for them, and it seemed like they were about to close out this perfect, ultimate narrative, and then they got completely upset at the last second, and that was, of course, the 2007 Patriots. So
yeah, that one's crazy. I still look back at that like that was crazy.
Yeah, that's still a core memory for me, watching that by myself online. But
I feel like wherever I was that's the one, the Falcons one, right?
No, it was the Giants.
Oh, the Giants one. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I kept thinking of the Falcons one the other way. I always remember the Patriots-Falcons game because I think I turned it off halfway through because I was like, I don't care. And then finding out the next day Tom Brady won, I was like, what? Excuse me?
Yeah. You know, my little sister, who has been estranged from my family, was always like the biggest Brady hater with like no evidence. Like she just liked saying that Brady sucked for no reason. I guess to be contrarian or whatever. And I remember
contrarian for the sake of it.
Yeah, and there was and we ran into the Patriots so many times in the playoffs, but including when he went to the fucking Bucks and destroyed us anyway. Of course. And there was that I forgot what, but there was one game. I think it was like 2019. Yeah, I think it was the year before we won the Super Bowl, and then it looked like we were doing great, and then my sister called, and she was like, haha, Tom Brady sucks or whatever, and then we lost in overtime to a coin.
So it's like, don't say anything.
Fucking
like, don't
idiot,
speak.
Sister, fuck you. This is why we don't talk to you.
My dad has been like, so every like, I'm trying to think of, so every like middle-aged dad who's been like an Eagles fan, they're like, perpetual doomers even when we've done pretty well the past couple years. So my dad is like genuinely the most obnoxious person to talk to about sports, and my younger sister just got into sports, so she'll be talking to him and she's like, I feel like our team is looking good, and he's like, I just don't trust these plays, these calls, they're so bad. And then we'll like win and he'll still be like, yeah, because the other team was bad. If it was a good team we would have done, and it would be like a good team, it would be like the Ravens. He'd say that against like generationally good teams because he's just dooming so hard. He's like, I don't like how Hurts isn't throwing. Like, he's like those guys. He's one of those guys. And I'm like, Dad, we keep winning. Shut up. He's going to the party tomorrow. And I told Dad, I'm like, look, if we start losing because you're there, like, I'm going to kick you out. Like, it's not my house, but like, you need to leave. Like, if your energy is ruining our streak, like, you got to go.
Get out of your house, Dad.
Yeah,
go mow the lawn or something.
Go pout in the corner.
Go shovel snow or whatever.
Yeah, and I was talking about it. I'm like, oh, I guess I was talking to like my husband about it. He's like, does he know that we have like our spots? And I was like, I didn't know we had spots, but like, so Dad does not know we have our spots. What is that? Like, we just stand in the same spot. He's like, yeah, but the spots are really important. I'm like, I didn't know we had spots. Like, you could just stand there. He's not going to stand on you in your spot. So the jinxing magic is, like, so real to, like, a ridiculous degree. So if they lose after all this, of course it's going to be, I guess you need a new spot, and my dad can never come watch a football game with us ever again.
Right. I do hear that like, so one of the two football creators I watch is Urinating Tree, and this guy like has it. This guy has it out for your coach. He absolutely hates Nick Sirianni, and I obviously I don't know why. So like, what's the deal about that? Is he a controversial figure in your fandom?
So Sirianni is like, I don't know how to describe it. So statistically speaking, I'll open with this. He's won more than any other coach in their first 4 years, statistically speaking.
Okay.
He's also kind of really goofy. So like so I don't know how normal this is amongst other coaches, but like he doesn't make calls during the middle of the game. He kind of like defers to the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, and he's like, he like talks to them, but like there is a question of like what does he do, but he is also like a really good coach, like player coach. Like he's really good with all the players, like he hypes them up. He's like very good with like locker room etiquette, which like you see with a lot of coaches aren't. Like Sean Payton, who like was beefing with everyone, like there's a lot of coaches that are just like they don't mesh with the players. They just like yell at them. Like not like I don't think any of the Patriots actually like Bill Belichick, but they kept winning, so it's good. So he's kind of like the opposite of that. Like he gets along with everyone, and all of the players love him. And I think he does make good decisions. It's just not as clear cut to be like, what is he doing at any certain point in time? So that kind of along with just his like. He kind of comes across as goofy. Like at the beginning of this season, we were looking really shaky, and at some point he was like yelling at fans who were yelling back. Like, and it's like after a bye week, he like shaved his head, and then we came back and won and stuff. But he just does goofy things, and he doesn't give like he's very like normal guy who gives answers that don't necessarily come across as like really smart or impressive. But then his results are just like really impressive. He's kind of like Jalen Hurts, and that like there's not a like lot of flashiness that people can kind of like glom onto, so they kind of are like, what are you doing? But then they just keep winning. So he's kind of an enigma, but like I think he rubs people the wrong way. Like I think one of the main like big sports guys who I find annoying, he called him like a doofus. Like he just gives off goofy energy, but like he's not a goofy guy. He's been to a Super Bowl like twice in 3 years. Like he's obviously doing something right, but I think people can't really give him credit because like his persona clashes so hard with his results that they're like, what are you? Like I don't understand you.
So he's basically fuck it, we ball, just as a coach. That's
yeah, that's the vibe he gives off, and then what ends up happening is like really impressive, and they're like, how did he do that again? Because is the guy you follow, he's not an Eagles fan, right? He's just like another fan.
Wait, what?
The guy who you like, who doesn't like him, who you listen to.
Yeah, Utree. He's a Steelers fan.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like he's just like Nick Sirianni is just like a weird guy who's just kind of like he just shows up and it's I guess he gives off that fuck it we ball vibe, and then we ball and people are like, I don't get it. What is he doing?
All right.
So
that's fair.
I guess he's a mysterious guy. It's kind of tough to say because it's not like it's just hard to get a handle on him. And I do get it because some people are like, okay, what does he even do? But like, whatever he's doing seems to work out really well.
Well, maybe if you win the Super Bowl, then everything will be forgiven, and then he'll be the coach for the next 20 years, no matter how badly you lose in the postseason every single year, just like the Steelers with Tomlin.
Oh yeah, that's so funny. The best 500 level team where they make the first round of the playoffs. But also, Tomlin is so funny. He has the funniest, like, sound clips. Like, sometimes on TikTok, they'll have, like, best Mike Tomlin moments. And it was, like, him walking onto the field, and some fan was there. He's like, yeah, good luck, coach. And, like, he's like, I'm fucking working. Don't talk to me. He just is, like, so funny like that.
Bro's just locked in.
Yeah, he's locked in. He's like, don't talk to me.
See,
yeah, no,
I also don't follow American football, but my sister bought me an Eagles shirt randomly in the last year, so I've been adopted to Sha's side, I guess. So I'm outnumbered.
Oh yeah, wait, who's on the Eagles shirt?
Yeah.
That's what I need to know.
Maybe it's nobody. It's just a Philadelphia Eagles shirt.
Just birds. You know what is funny? So our like real like mastermind behind everything is Howie Roseman, like our GM, who just is like. He like gets everyone on the off season. Like he's the real mastermind with like the cap space and everything. So like I saw someone with a Howard Roseman jersey where he's not a player. So they just have like a custom your own shirt and it says Roseman on the back. And instead of a number, it's just a dollar sign. So I don't know how to get that. But I don't know how well that he's just like, everyone's like, if Howie's calling, you should not pick up. He is going to get your best player and finagle you somehow. But like, he keeps making devil magic work. So he's our real, like, 13, what is it? 13D chess, 100 IQ, like 150 IQ dude pulling all the strings.
He would have been the one to acquire Luka if he was an NBA GM.
Yeah,
essentially.
He would have done, it would have been like that, and he would have done the Luka deal somehow. Well, someone asked our guy, AJ Brown, because we got AJ Brown from the Titans for like not that much. And someone asked AJ Brown at the press conference, was like, what was your reaction to the Luka deal? It was the, AKA like, the most one-sided deal since you got traded. And AJ Brown was kind of laughing. He's like, I don't know, man. Like, I have no comment on that.
C5 says it's just a team logo, no player name.
Oh, it's cool.
They just thought it looked hard.
Yeah, thank you. Birds. I think we have also an interesting thing of like, you know, back in 2017, we hadn't won a Super Bowl, so we were like very much the underdogs, and everyone like had that mentality as fans because like we hadn't won anything. And then it's kind of weird since then where I feel like we do have like some underdog tendencies. Like sometimes people underestimate our team and our coach and stuff, and like, but I feel like we can't fully be underdogs when we keep making the playoffs. You know, we're not the same team as before, and I think sometimes the fans have that same mentality of like we're just like all against the odds, and it's like, well, we haven't really been like that for kind of 10 years. Like we've been pretty good and like constantly there. Like I don't know if we can keep having that same like it's us against the world, all the odds against us. It's like we've been in the playoffs a lot, you know, that we've done pretty good. I don't know if we still have that same like vibe.
Yeah. Although, unfortunately, you're now famous for losing a lot of championships. I'm sorry.
No, you can't keep getting away with this. You can't keep doing this.
Unfortunate. Well, no matter what happens tomorrow, at the very least, we will have a great performance from Kendrick.
Yeah, I'm excited for Kendrick Lamar.
That's the thing that's going to unite us all. That's going to change the world. I'm so stoked for that.
I'm so excited. I like how they keep reporting, like, yeah, so he's definitely doing Not Like Us. It's like, of course he's doing Not Like Us. Not Like Us is probably how he got the Super Bowl halftime show in the first place, and he will be calling Drake a pedophile in front of millions of people. Like, it will be happening.
It will be the greatest thing ever.
Yes. I'm excited. I think it's going to be really cool. I don't know what other songs he'll do, but I will be there. I don't know if you watched the Grammys, or at least the clips of the Grammys where he won Song of the Year or Record of the Year. Yeah. The way they timed it is like, so they announced he won Record of the Year, and then he's like going like hugging everyone on the way up to the stage, and somehow the timing worked out well, but that by the time he got on stage, they got to the A minor line, so everyone in the Grammy audience was yelling out A minor.
Oh, so that's why they did it. Wow. Yeah.
So the timing worked out amazingly. So I just imagine that by like 50 million times more and louder for the Super Bowl. Like we're all going to be sitting there and it's just going to hear A minor by like everyone in the stands and then everyone at home. We're all just going to be yelling A minor. And then Drake might never be in public ever again.
Good. Hopefully. Hopefully we'll hear the A minor if the NFL aren't cowards, because I know they mess with the audio. Like they don't actually play the real crowd noise or whatever. They just play like crowd noise. Because it was a couple years ago when Dr. Dre was playing, and then it was the whole hip hop cipher. Because I specifically remember, I'm like, what made me think of this is when Eminem was doing his part, and I'm like, everyone in that stadium should have screamed "Mom Spaghetti," and I'm sure they did, but I'm sure NFL just wouldn't let people hear that, and because they are cowards.
Yeah. That makes sense too. Yeah, did you get to the point where like you're watching the Super Bowl and all of the people who are performing are like people we understand in our generation, and everyone younger and older is like, who is this person? And I'm like, oh no, we're the audience now. Like we're the adults. Yeah. Like, I had to explain who Eminem was to people and Kendrick. Like I'm explaining to like 50-year-olds. I'm like, this is 50 Cent. He came out with In the Club in 2004. Everyone my age knows every word to the song.
That was especially true with Shakira.
Yeah.
The kids these days don't know Shakira. And admittedly, I was also that way with Usher. I'm like, why is Usher, of all people, doing the Super Bowl? But you know what? Credit to him. He did a great show.
He did really good. And I think he did a great job with his songs. And it's one of those that, like, who was I feel like I was telling someone younger. I'm like, yeah, he did the song. Yeah, you definitely know the song. It's played at every wedding and birthday party ever. And also, that was uniquely weeb timing because always due to JJK bullshit. So he was going viral on TikTok because they kept playing Daddy's Home with like Gojo edits. So every time Usher posted something, everyone was like, bring Gojo out to the Super Bowl. And I guess his team got like we got to do something. It's an easy layup, whatever. He posted like him kind of cosplaying Gojo on TikTok, but he also spoiled JJK with that in a way. And posting that. So, like, it's like 2 weeks before the Super Bowl. He posts that, and everyone's like, oh my god, even Usher posted about Gojo. And then everyone's like, imagine getting spoiled because Usher posted to his TikTok about Gojo. So that's what we had last year. And then I still see comments being like, you didn't bring out Gojo for the Super Bowl. How dare you? You didn't do Daddy's Home. And I'm like, I don't think Daddy's Home was, like, a big song when we were kids. So, yeah, that one's not making it.
Nah. But it'll be good.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. I'm excited. I think it'll be fun. And I think even though everyone's complaining because, like, oh, it's like a repeat game, I think the other Super Bowl was very exciting for everyone to watch, even us with, like, the ups and downs. I think this one will be equally as exciting.
Yeah.
So I think people get a good Super Bowl, even if their teams aren't there. Like, you're going to have fun, whether you like it or not.
That's right. You're gonna accept it.
Have fun, or else.
Have fun or die. Or, I don't know, cry about it, whatever.
I just hope, for everyone's sake, I hope they don't have it come down to, like, one call that's controversial, because if there's, like, a call that it comes down to and it's in favor of the Chiefs, I do think people will start burning shit down. Like, it won't even, like, Eagles fans were burning it down no matter what, but, like, I think people would get, like, freak out, and I think that would get crazy, and then they'll have to bring out, like, guys, we swear there's no ref tomfoolery once again, and they're like, nah, dog, we're not buying that.
Yeah, like that, the jersey the holding call the last time we faced off, like, like one
which
of the last
was, like, a fair call.
It was, but it's just like, it's the timing of it that just sucks so much.
Exactly.
It just soured the entire game for everybody.
Yeah.
For better.
Yeah, everyone was having fun, and it's like, just let him keep playing. You don't know what's gonna happen. That's what's kind of tough. Is like, you don't want it to interrupt the momentum of the game, especially if it's like so intense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you looking forward to anything else? Do you have any predictions? Or are we not doing that? We don't want to jinx it.
I have no predictions, honestly. I'm just going to be drinking with family and friends, and that's it. And I don't care what happens at all because I don't need the Chiefs to be good anymore.
I'm done playing with you.
You know what? If nothing else, I think it'd be nice to have a down period for the Chiefs because I'm tired of these people in KC being like, well, because there's some drama with the Royals because they got a new owner and he wants to build a new stadium and all that shit, and people think that if that doesn't happen, he's going to move the team and et cetera, et cetera. So people are just like, well, whatever, the Royals can leave Kansas City. We'll just have Mahomes and the Chiefs. Like the Chiefs have never struggled in their entire history before or whatever.
Yeah,
like
and
10
you're like,
years
no,
ago, we
no.
didn't. Like 10 years ago, we didn't have fucking blimps over Arrowhead saying to fire our general manager because we were that bad.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
These people.
The good news is no matter what happens, whatever happens, we're not going to be like the Dallas Mavericks who are going to like potentially bomb their stadium because of what happened.
Dude, did you hear that like a reporter or something was talking about it? They're like, oh yeah, we have to increase security because people actually want to kill our GM.
Yeah, I saw before that someone made a tweet. They're like, this guy is lucky he's in Dallas because if this was Philly, people would have leaked his address and he would have gotten like, attacked at his house. And then I'm like, I'm not defending that, but I'm like, that's why like you're not gonna fuck around in our places because we're like, okay, these guys are psychopaths. Like you gotta strike the fear of God that if you trade the best player away, like it's not gonna be okay for you.
Yeah, I don't know shit about basketball. Like, this had to be explained to me in baseball terms.
Yeah.
So
I love the explanation in other terms. That's been my favorite part of this. And I think my favorite explanation is like they were explaining it into like boy band terms for girls. They're like, okay, imagine trading away 2022 Justin Timberlake for 2015 Harry Styles from One Direction, and One Direction implemented the trade. That's the thing. I'm like, okay, when you put it in those terms, that's crazy, and that's probably what happened. Yeah, because it's like, look at how washed Justin Timberlake he's gotten with like ruining the world tour, and then Harry Styles like right as his peak. Like, it makes so much sense. I love it though. Everyone trying to break it down into other terms is my favorite. Like, you can't really fully break it down either, because like if you try and do it in football, it doesn't work, because it would be like, imagine trading like Mahomes for this guy. It just doesn't work. But this boy band one is like so uniquely perfect, because everyone has that mental picture and they're like, yeah, that's actually terrible. Yeah, like we would riot.
Even I understand that one.
Yeah, like we all get it, and we're like, yeah, that's abysmal. That's just not happening.
Right. Why don't they get boy bands to do the Super Bowl?
I feel like
in sync reunion.
It's a good question.
Super Bowl.
Oh my god, they get like, now we don't even have those. They'd have to get like a K-pop band to do it.
BTS doing the Super Bowl. That would be weird.
That would bring in some audience.
That would bring in a lot of viewers, though. It would be a great business move. Yeah.
All the old people being like, what are they even saying? I don't understand. Like, they need like subtitles for everyone. That would be crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, that's our weekend. That's our lives right now. We are just doing this. I don't know what else to say. We just wanted to do this stream just to. Especially,
I don't have COVID this time, so I'm like, yay! Let's go.
We're both healthy.
Yeah, both healthy. Going to be around people. Yeah, I hope it won't be too cold. I will be wearing the same thing I've worn for the past 3 games, so I have to remember what I wore and then just roll up. But yeah, we will be out there. Are you guys having a party at like your house, or are you going somewhere else?
No, we're going to a bar.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, at least I think I just told my family just drag me somewhere. Or like if although maybe if they go somewhere and they don't bring me, then I guess I just stay home, and that's how it is.
Yeah, that's fine too.
Hopefully they don't forget I exist.
Guys, not on Super Bowl day. It's Big Chiefs Day.
Hey, come on, guys. I want to see this. Hang on, I wanted to. Just 1 second. This doesn't matter, but someone said Gura for the Super Bowl. Hang on, let me open.
That would be crazy. Did you see it was like the Dodgers game that had one of the VTubers or whatever?
Of course I saw that, Sha. Of course I'm aware of that.
I feel like an old person being like, those VTuber things you were watching, they were at the baseball game. I don't know anything, and you could explain it like word for word for me. And I'm like, yeah, so I just heard about that.
Why didn't it? Oh, there it is.
Yeah, that's our future. It's going to be VTubers doing the national anthem.
Super Bowl. I want that. Dodgers living out every single one of my dreams. They had a player named Lux last year, which was hilarious, and they got this Japanese pitcher that I've been hoping the Royals would get literally since I heard about him several years ago when he was in high school. I actually heard about him because of Tay. Funny enough, he told me about Roki Sasaki, so that was on my mind forever. And then he just went to the fucking Dodgers, so I was like, what is anything for?
I feel like they either go to the Dodgers or the Mets.
Yeah, the Mets are signing everybody now.
But they still suck. Like, at least the Dodgers are good after signing everyone. The Mets will sign everyone and still fail.
The Mets are just they're cursed to be goofy forever. It doesn't matter.
They really are. The Mets are just cursed. I didn't even talk too much because I went to I think I told you I went to 4 Philly games last year. Mm-hmm. And we lost all of them. And we had a really good record. So it was like every time I was there, it was cursing them. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to a baseball game again. I think I'm the problem. Like, we were doing good, and now we're doing bad. So I'm not doing that. And one of them was a Mets playoff game, and they just, like, came back after we didn't do anything. I was like, this is miserable. I don't want to come back here. I'm not coming back. This is so bad.
Yeah, I feel that, though. I went to 3 Royals games, and we lost all 3 of them, including the postseason game that I went to.
Yeah, it's like, so I'm the problem? I'm jinxing us?
Oh, dude, even, like, and I hate admitting this. This is, like, something I want to, like, deny in my memory. I got up to go get food, and in the time I got up, the Royals scored their only runs when I wasn't around to see it. So I didn't even have that much to cheer for in this game. It's like,
oh, yeah. That's when you know it's you, because it's like, oh, so when I'm not watching them, that's what it is. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna like not watch. I'll close my eyes. But that's when you know it's like, I do take this personally. I had that with something else too, where I'm like, okay, so me watching is the problem. Got it. Like, we're done.
Maybe. I don't know. That's just how things go, though.
That's how the cookie crumbles, as they put it.
Yep. So I guess may the funnier team win. May the more vibier team win. I guess who's got the best vibes right now?
I feel like, so this is what I would say. I do think everyone hates us on principle. Well, people hate you guys on principle because you guys have won too much.
Yes.
Like, you're too good. People hate us because our fans are annoying, and I think they just hate the Eagles, whatever. They hate the fans mostly and whatever. I do think we have the feel-good story of freeing Saquon from the prison of the Giants. So everyone wants to see Saquon do really well. And then, I don't know if you've seen it because this is more on, like, Eagles' side. We have, like, what they call the exciting whites, are 2 white cornerbacks.
Oh, yeah.
Or safeties. Yeah, so they're going to start a podcast. It's, what is it? Blankenship and Cooper DeJean. They're doing a podcast called Exciting Whites. So, like, in the wine section called Exciting Whites, they're going to start a podcast called that. So they're pretty funny. And it almost sounds like kind of like white supremacist-y until, like, the black players gave them that name. So it's not like they're not being like white power about it. They're just being a wine flavor. So that's kind of funny. But I think everyone just really likes seeing Saquon do cool shit. So I feel like that's like, I think people just want Saquon to do well.
I think that's the
biggest fight.
I think that's the only player that like everybody's kind of universally rooting for. Like no matter like nobody really cares about the teams, but it's like, all right, Saquon can have something nice. He deserves it.
Yeah. Yeah, the best PR of all time of, like, the idea, like, I've seen people say so much, like, how dare the Giants keep Saquon's talent from all of us with their terrible team and, like, their dog shit, as if they were, like, purposely doing it to hurt Saquon, and they're like, thank God he's free with an offensive line, so now he can run for 1,000,000 yards and stuff. So I think that's the only unifying part. I don't know if the rest of the league sees Cooper DeJean because he has so many, like, funny TikTok edits. But I don't know. I think Saquon's our like most likable player, so I think that's what it comes down to.
That's good.
Yeah, go Saquon, go.
Right on.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything else to say, but we just wanted to shoot the shit about this because we're here again, so we gotta address this. We gotta acknowledge this.
I'm glad we could do it this time without me dying. So I think it's fun. If we make it back, we got to turn it into a tradition. And then people are going to be really mad if we do this again. But my response is, like, if you don't want our teams in the Super Bowl, then your team should be better and beat us. Like, I'm sorry. That's your team's fault.
Just get good. Skill issue. Sorry.
Literally get good.
Move to another city. I don't know. Come over here where our team's good and never loses, seemingly.
Yeah, your team specifically. My team, not so much. We just show up and then we see what happens.
Always good for a good time.
Yeah, I'm excited. I was kind of torn because I'm like, okay, I'm going to be nervous all Sunday, so I'm not really going to enjoy the Super Bowl. But, I guess it's kind of cool to be this invested. But at the same time, I was, like, slightly jealous of people who could watch the Super Bowl with, like, no skin in the game. They're just like, I'm just here.
Just here to have fun, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just here to have fun. I'm like, no, this is life or death. This is it. This is it for us.
Well, I hope it's fun.
I hope it's fun. I hope it turns out well.
Let's all just have fun and make friends, and isn't that what it's all about?
Yeah. Let's hope. I think small term hopes is hope it's a good game. Hope my dad doesn't kill the vibe with his doomer energy and have to get exiled from the house. Like, so that's what I'm hoping. Bitch, don't kill my vibe. I'm going to say that to Dad, and he won't understand that reference. But that'll be funny. Yeah, I hope it's fun though. Hope, every time I think of like, I think you're the only Chiefs fan I know, so I'm like, I can't actually be too like mad and be like, I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm like, no, Moz is having a good time. At least Moz is happy.
Moz finally gets something nice.
It's not a baseball win, but it is a sports win. So
it's
close
something.
enough.
I'll take it.
It's something. Yeah.
I still would like the Phillies Royals World Series someday, though.
That would be kind of cool, right? Why don't we
amazing.
do that next year? Let's do that next year. Let's write it in. Like,
let's do it.
That would be fun. That would be. Do you guys are the Royals colors red at all? Or are they just blue?
No, they're blue and gold.
Oh, that's a good color. Yeah, you know what I can't stand is when teams have like a dog shit color scheme and then they keep going farther, and then I'm like, I don't like these colors, and I have to keep seeing them, and it looks terrible. So blue and gold is good. The other ones get a bit yucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got good uniforms, so we're cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what the worst part is? Red is my favorite color. So I like the Chiefs colors, but I can't wear red at all, so I'm like, okay,
that
green
is why
it
I'm wearing the Fennekin shirt, red and yellow. This is my Chiefs
shirt. That's a good point. I was gonna put on something green, but I'm like, no, that's for tomorrow. Whatever.
Yeah, I actually do have a Chiefs shirt. That's for tomorrow.
Yeah, because I would hope your dad gave you one, Patrick Mahomes, your father.
I haven't seen him in a minute, so I'll ask him next time I see him.
Absentee father, I'm not rooting for the Chiefs. I don't like how Patrick Mahomes has abandoned his family, specifically his son, Mozilla Fennekin. There we go.
He gave me a Whataburger, though. There's a Whataburger right next to my house, and he gave me that. That was a gift to me.
Happy birthday, son. Here's a Whataburger.
Yeah. That's literally a thing. Like, Whataburger's a Texas-based chain, and Mahomes was literally just like, hey, Whataburger, put them in KC. And Whataburger was like, okay, sure, we'll do that for you. So,
that is one of the big perks of having, like, a big sports area, is they do give all the, like, the big promos that they wouldn't have elsewhere, and they're like, yeah, no, give them everything. Give them an In-N-Out. Why not? Just give them all that stuff.
Actually, one last question I have is, like, I've been meaning to ask this, like, just in general, because if you come to KC, Mahomes is on everything. His if you hate seeing this man's face, do not ever come here, because he is on everything. So I've been wondering, like, how is this for other places? Like, how much do you get exposed to your local athletes or celebrities?
That's a good question. I feel like it's been, like, I think it's a lot more like just team, like, oriented, where, like, you'll see, like, an Eagles logo, or they'll just have, like, green or something for that season, but we're not going to see, like, Jalen Hurts everywhere, or, like, Saquon everywhere. But I have seen a lot of, like, people, like, for, I guess, good example, everyone is so snarky with billboards. Actually, if you probably see an athlete on a billboard, it's probably them kind of trolling another team, because I don't know if you heard this from your side of the division, but, like, before we played the Rams, Verse, who's, like, the best Rams defensive player, he was like, I hate Philly fans. They're so obnoxious. I hear them yelling at me and shit. I hate them. And so someone bought a billboard right outside the stadium and said, like, dear Verse, we hate you too, love Philly fans. So, like, that's, like, the kind of antics we're engaging in. So we don't have time to put Jalen Hurts on the billboard because we're too busy.
You're too busy hacking on the other billboards. That actually happened over here. There's the closest billboard to Arrowhead. Phillies fans bought that, and they put up this ad, and it looks like a Chiefs ad. It's just like, pocket Chiefs rally, call this number, and if you actually call the number, it plays like the Eagles fight song or something. Like, that's incredible. I love that you did that. That's so funny.
That's the antics that we get into, and then everyone's just like, I'm tired of these fuckers. They must be stopped. And then everyone here, we're just kind of like Green Goblins, just like laughing and like, climbing poles and stuff. And so like we're just kind of like little goblins gathering about having fun. I'll put it that way.
I think we like that, because again, we used to be made fun of for being flyover country, so we like getting attention.
Yeah.
We like messing with others, and we like being messed with in return.
Yeah.
So let's keep this.
Yeah,
up.
And then you guys mess with everyone on the biggest stage, so then it's like, yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think I've seen some kind of like other billboards. I don't think we might have been like, thank you, New York, for Saquon, like that kind of stuff. So So we don't get to see Jalen everywhere. I do wonder, I was trying to think back, even after the other Super Bowl, I don't think I saw Nick Foles everywhere after Nick Foles won. So I feel like it's also a combination of like Mahomes obviously being like the face of the Chiefs, but he's also kind of like the face of football at this point. So like I feel like you're gonna see that a lot more, whereas like we don't have someone who's like that much of an icon. I think Bryce Harper, when it gets like that season, like we'll see him around more. He's like, he's the guy.
Sure. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. It's a good question though, and I'm like, and Philly's so busy. Like, we have every type of like billboard and marketing. Like, you got all of the like, you've lost God, call this number kind of stuff, and then you also have the like, like fuck the Giants, like next to each other. So you got a dichotomy on both sides of the road.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Just Philly things. It's fun. It's not that fun when it's winter, but it's a fun time.
That is fun. Well, good luck tomorrow. I hope we have a good game. I hope it's a fun game.
Good game. Good halftime show. Good
vibes. Good rhymes.
Good vibes. Hopefully both our teams do well in a way that benefits us personally the most.
Yes, absolutely. I will.
Yeah.
Same to you.
Thanks. Yeah, this will be fun.
Yeah, but I think that's all we got for today. I'm going to bed, but after that I'm going to work, and then after that, well, in any case, I'm working on an episode. There's going to be something coming next week, and after that comes out, so this is a passion project between me and Bex. We talk about this crazy band called Death Grips, and we go over their like whole history and catalog, and we agreed after that to do an episode on Kendrick Lamar.
Ooh.
And it's especially funny. It's especially funny because we recorded this episode in November of 2023. So this is actually very old. So
yeah,
we wanted to do a Kendrick episode before all of this shit happened. And
oh my gosh, amazing timing.
Yeah, so we actually have been sitting on this we've been sitting on this idea for the entire month, and we've just been we probably would have done it last spring, but then the beef started, and then we thought the beef we actually settled on August, and because we're like, okay, it looks like it's over, it looks like everything's done, and then he drops GNX, and then he gets announced for the Super Bowl. It's like, okay, we'll have to do it after the Super Bowl, I guess. Yeah. Are
you guys gonna do it with all the beef stuff in mind, or are you part two, so to speak? Okay, cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Because it's so this story is over. Psych, here's the sequel. Everything is huge. That'll be fun. I'm not I don't know that much about Kendrick, but I know more than I guess the average white person. More than the average white person, infinitely less than every black person. I'll put it that way.
Have you actually listened to Good Kid, Mad City or To Pimp a Butterfly?
Yeah. I like Good Kid. It might be a hot take and like it a bit more than To Pimp a Butterfly. That's
also an opinion I share. So you're valid.
Oh yeah, let's go. I think Good Kid, Mad City is my favorite Kendrick song too. That song is insane.
Awesome.
But I liked a lot of his stuff. We had I guess last note is it was a generational divide at the last Eagles game when we were talking about Kendrick Lamar, and it was me and a cousin who's closer to my age versus a cousin who's 18. It's the 18-year-old was I think Kendrick won the beef, but I do think Drake is a better artist. And me and the other girl were no, and she's oh, disagree. I'm yeah, without trying to be mean. I didn't want to be really mean, but I'll be yeah, Drake is kind of dog shit. No, it's not. No, he's kind of terrible. But I'm I like some Drake songs, but no, bad.
No, I've never known anyone who liked Drake or listened to Drake, so I've never liked Drake, so good riddance to him.
I got lucky too, because my uncle was I guess he was a perpetual insomniac, so he would be up late watching any random ass TV show. So my first introduction to Drake was when he was still on Degrassi, because my 50-year-old uncle, who looks like Tony Soprano for the record, and his name is Tony, so he might as well be Tony Soprano. He was yo, have you seen the show Degrassi? And he kept showing me the most ridiculous clips from it. So then we would both watch Degrassi together. So Drake's character, his character's name is Jimmy, and he gets shot randomly in this series, famously so. This also takes place in Canada, so this is really dramatic. They don't have school shootings like us. So he gets shot, and he's in a wheelchair for the rest of the series. And so my uncle kept calling him Wheelchair Jimmy. So when Drake came out with his first song on the radio, my uncle was like, I heard Wheelchair Jimmy on the radio. He was so proud of it. So thanks to that whole introduction to Drake, I've never found him cool because he's always been Wheelchair Jimmy from Degrassi for me.
Hell yeah. What if Kendrick references that? He like brings someone out in a wheelchair and shoots him or something.
If there's any wheelchair on stage, that is a Degrassi reference. I don't care. It is literally a Degrassi reference.
And it is, of course, a derogatory reference.
Yes, a negative Drake reference. Oh my god. Well, you heard, last thing, this is for the beef. So Kendrick came out accepting his award in like this like double like jean jacket, jean pants thing. Apparently that's called a Canadian tuxedo. So
I heard about that. Yeah, he had a Canadian tuxedo.
Yeah, so he's next levels of hate. Like he's doing like 13D levels of hate.
There's this absolutely terrific video that goes over the entire beef, and it's kind of like a hip hop history video disguised as a beef analysis. It's I'm What the Culture Is Feeling by FD Signifier.
Oh, the FD Signifier video?
Yeah, and
I gotta watch all of it.
And he said he had a follow up where he talked about things that he left out, and he said that he described the beef and like what Kendrick specifically did, like how thorough Kendrick did. He described it as like a Death Note spoiler, but I'll just say a particular scene in Death Note.
Okay.
Between a couple of characters.
Okay, that makes sense. That's a good reference for that too. That's sick.
Yeah. So that's what that is.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see what hate references will be made on the biggest stage in the world that you guys can reference on the podcast, because that's gonna go hard.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. We'll record that next week, and hopefully it'll be out in a couple weeks. But yeah, we got a lot of content coming out this month. I'm just now that it's up to me, it's on my shoulders, but I can finally work on stuff again. The content era is back.
The layout for this is good. This is the peak weeb layout.
Yes, absolutely. But it'll keep getting better. So, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for everybody for listening. And thanks, Sha, for agreeing to do this. Thank you for allowing us in the Super Bowl again, so we can do this without me dying. I was so sad about it because I was excited. Like last 2 years ago, we were like, oh look, our teams are facing each other. We're all like bright-eyed and happy. And then 2 years go by, and we're like, everyone hates our teams. No one's excited. We're doing this again. People wanted new teams. The Chiefs are happy for a 3-peat. We want revenge. Everyone else is miserable, but we're like, hey guys. Yeah.
Hey. Yeah. Well, good luck tomorrow. I think it'll be fun one way or another. But thanks to everyone for listening, and go Birds.
Casey hates bird teams, so no, die to all birds.
No, we are anti all birds.
That actually was a point I forgot to bring up. But there was a joke about how